Alright, how you doing? Welcome to Reppin Nature. I'm David, and on this channel I pay homage to nature and the ancients. Following my profound experiences in Egypt, I've been on a life-changing and spiritual quest. I explore megaliths, sacred landscapes, and the powerful connection between nature and the ancients. I hope you're able to join me on my journey and subscribe to Reppin Nature. Cheers! Just east of Inverness, nestled on a quiet wooded terrace near the River Nairn, lies one of the most beautiful and mysterious prehistoric sites in Scotland. This is Clava Cairns. Built over 4,000 years ago in the Bronze Age, this site has stood for millennia, a sacred place of burial, alignment and possibly initiation. I'm going to walk through each of its cairns, not just to share what archaeology tells us, but to explore the layers of energy and memory still held in its stones. Alright, how are you doing? So I'm very happy and grateful to be at Clava Cairns in the Highlands of Scotland. This has been a place I've wanted to come to for a long time. It's an absolutely broad, beautiful day today. And this site is ancient. This is a sacred landscape and historical landscape as well. Not too far from Inverness and Culloden. And this site dates from the Neolithic through to the early Bronze Age. It's thought to be up to 4,000 years old. And it consists of three main cairns, and which are surrounded by standing stones. First thing I notice when I come here are the trees, these incredible, beautiful trees. Look at this one behind me right there. I think these are oak trees, which are associated with the Druids. So the trees are really, really interesting. So absolutely buzzing to be here. See if I can soak it in, soak it up and see what I feel. We'll walk around each of the cairns. There's three cairns here, and I think two of them have got kind of passageways. They're aligned with the midwinter solstice, which, you know, represents death, rebirth, and return to the light. And just again, straight away looking at these different stones, they seem to be in different heights, slightly different shapes. So really curious to see what I see, what I feel, what I experience as I walk around this ancient, incredible and iconic site here in Scotland. So let's go and have a wee look, shall we? May I approach? Clava Cairns, also known as Balnuaran of Clava, is part of a wider group of around 50 similar structures in the Moray Firth region, known as Clava-type cairns. They are carefully constructed burial monuments dating to around 2000 BC. This site has four structures, two passage graves, one central ring cairn and a small Korab cairn. Each is encircled by a ring of standing stones and aligned possibly intentionally with the winter solstice sunset. The design here is not random, it's layered and intentional. The builders had a deep understanding of light, stone, space, and perhaps even spirit. This is the northeast cairn. It's aligned with the setting sun on the winter solstice, the darkest day of the year. It's really interesting seeing these cairns surrounded by almost like a stone circle, these standing stones circling the cairn itself. Makes me think a wee bit about Tumulus de Carcado in Brittany near Carnac, which is a kind of mashup of the megaliths. Tumulus de Carcado, it's a bit older than here, but it's a passageway, a passage grave. Has a menhir on top of the wee hill, and it's surrounded by standing stones, so like a burial point, and then with the stones surrounding it. And again, this is thought to be a burial site and complex. There's been human remains found here. Some, I think, which have been cremated. However, we don't know exactly when those human remains were cremated. So again, assume this is a burial site. It's a tomb. Perhaps was it a tomb to an individual, a group of people? You know, if you've followed reppin nature for a while, you'll know that for me, megaliths are built for survival and energetic structures. And this site is thought to be up to 4,000 years old. Again, I'd take that with a wee bit of pinch of salt, because that's based on artifacts which have been found at this site. But the one thing that really strikes me as I about to go inside this cairn is this sacred space. So it's, you know, I think megaliths are built with spatial intelligence. So this is a standing stone, circular in shape, surrounding this container type vessel, this cairn in the center here. So for me, stone circles are like they're like cauldrons, that energy swirling around. So my my feeling here is these standing stones surrounding this cairn, they are holding or containing or pushing the energy. Sounds a wee bit mad and out there, but they're containing, holding that energy, pushing it towards the cairn. And you know, I've shared many videos on dolmens, and again, dolmens for me are not tombs, but dolmens is that enclosed space. You know, it's holding that energy. So for me, it feels like there's two parts to each of these cairns, two spaces. You coming from the outside where I am here, and then as we approach and we pass that threshold, perhaps that threshold is from, it's the spirit, it's going from, you know, life to death, or perhaps it's holding that energy, going the circle, the stones containing that energy, that cauldron of energy, directing it towards this chamber like structure, this container of energy, and definitely like two separate spaces. So I'm going to cross the threshold, as it were. You know, again, if you've watched my videos, always before I pass a sacred space, or before I enter a sacred space, I always ask for permission. So let's go and we'll walk inside this chamber, and we'll visit the other cairns as well. All right.
Originally, this passage would have been roofed. You'd have to crouch to enter, stepping from light into darkness, from the outer world into an inner chamber. Some say this was a womb tomb, a place of death, yes, but also of rebirth. Perhaps ancient shamans once sat here, connecting with ancestors or with something deeper.
Standing inside the chamber of this cairn, circular in space, the passageway behind me. I feel as I was in Mallorca recently, so you've got the taliotic structures, which are very kind of robust looking structures like this is. These are all kind of stacked stones, and this circular space with a kind of slight passageway leading to it. It feels similar in some ways. And these stones are, I think they're sandstone, which contains quartz, and kind of local stones, kind of probably from, you know, pebbles and what have you. In terms of water source as well, in terms of underground water, telluric currents, we have the river Nairn, which isn't too far from here. This is incredible, an absolutely amazing place. It's interesting seeing these standing stones. It's almost like you have the cairn in the inner circle, and then the outer circle you have these standing stones, and then these beautiful trees, absolutely gorgeous. These oak trees, again, like an outer ring of trees.
These oak and beech trees may not be ancient, but they frame the cairns like a natural temple.
And these different shapes of these stones. This one looks a wee bit more masculine. Is that intentional? Whereas this one is rounded, curved, perhaps more feminine. Amazing. I love this stone. I love the shape of this stone. Different colours on it.
This stone here almost looks like the shape of the body as I'm touching there with the head at the top.
So just walking around this cairn, these incredible stones. I mentioned this one here, kind of rounded and curved, perhaps a wee bit more feminine, and then this one's a bit more jagged and striking and perhaps masculine. And you notice straight away that the cairn is built on almost like a kind of wee hill, a kind of raised platform there, and you can see the moss and the stones. And just seeing these different shapes of these stones. So my whole sense and feeling is that these stones are containing, as I mentioned, stone circles for me feel like cauldrons. So this circular design is containing, it's holding, it's manipulating, it's pushing that energy towards the cairn itself. This wee stone's nice as well. Really drawn to these trees. This is an amazing place. I should be with the stones, but I'm hanging out with these beautiful oak trees at the moment. It's quite a busy spot. It's clearly a touristy spot. There's a few cars here. There's a few people. But again, with these trees, amazing. And I always say how closely connected the ancients were with nature, and what I'm doing with Reppin Nature is paying homage to nature and the ancients. These people were finely tuned and connected with the earth, and the ancient technology for me is nature. So this cairn is a beauty, so we'll keep walking. There's three main cairns. Two of them have got passageways, each of them surrounded by these standing stones, like a stone circle. Again, for me, that's that stone circle is containing, straight away, that's my feeling, containing that cauldron of energy. And it's a sacred space or threshold as you enter it.
Ancient sites like Clava Cairns weren't just visited, they were entered with intention. I often think of them as thresholds, liminal places. Each of these cairns is surrounded by a ring of standing stones. These outer circles define sacred space. They aren't random, these were intentionally placed. Each stone a marker, a guardian, a conductor. For me, this outer ring is like a subtle veil, and once you pass through it, you feel it.
Perhaps that stone was significantly taller with this main standing stone there, kind of reminiscent of the stones you find at the Ring of Brodgar.
We'll now walk to the central cairn, and unlike the others, it has no passage. It may have functioned as a platform with a central space that was open to the sky. Excavations found human bone, signs of burning, and carefully laid kerbs that gradate in height from southwest to northeast.
So this centre cairn has no passageway. It's a circular central space.
That feels sacrilegious.
That's really interesting. These cairns will be facing to the sky, the cosmos, connecting Mother Earth with Sky Father. And that kind of the moss over the stones there. It's beautiful.
Walking between the cairns feels like stepping through layers of time, of intention, of energy. These aren't just burial sites, they're thresholds.
This central cairn is beautiful. There's no obvious way in, so there's no like passageway into it. You can see hopefully you can see the central chamber there. And again, it just feels like it's different layers. You're passing some sort of threshold. So again, you have these standing stones circling it, and the standing stones are, again, interestingly, are different sizes. These ones are again, these ones are slightly different to that first cairn. These are maybe a wee bit more masculine and jagged, these stones surrounding this centre cairn. Different sizes. And then the cairn itself has these stones, bigger stones, going round it, going on the outskirts, as it were, round the structure itself. This is a really interesting stone again. Colours. With a wee depression in the stone there. Amazing.
Each cairn feels a wee bit slightly different here. Perhaps they had different functions, or maybe different kinds of journeys. Even the space between the cairns holds something. You know, the in-between, the liminal, is often where transformation happens. This central ring cairn here, which stands between the two passage graves but slightly offset from the midwinter alignment, is thought to have had a different purpose. It has no entrance and it was never roofed. Walking amongst these stones, you can't help but feel the energy, a tangible connection to history and our ancient ancestors. There is a sense of reverence, wonder, stillness, and reflection when you're here. Now walking towards the Korab cairn, it is thought to be 3,000 years old and was built 1,000 years later after the two main cairns. This suggests the site had a second life long after the original builders were gone.
So there's this is called Korab cairn. This is thought to be added later, and it's just a series of stones in a circle. This kind of feels almost like a prototype megalith. My feeling with megaliths is that rock formations were the first megaliths, you know, enclosures and wee nooks and crannies and caves. This, again, it's thought to be added later, but I get that kind of prototype megalith vibe with these stones circled here. And I think I may have noticed some cup and ring marks in the stone, so we'll have a wee closer look now.
This ring is smaller, just 4 metres across. Some stones have cup and ring marks, which we'll see shortly. An ancient symbol whose meaning is long lost. Was this a revival or a reinvention of the old ways?
Yeah, here we go. This stone has got some dimples and depressions on it. That's curious.
Walking towards the southwest cairn, this cairn mirrors the first one we entered, again aligned with the winter solstice sunset. Like its counterpart, this cairn was sealed after a short period of use. The mystery is why. Were these spaces meant to be used briefly, intensely, and then closed?
So we're now at the third cairn. Again, sizable structure behind me there. This one is a passage grave, so it has the passageway leading to a central burial chamber. I say burial loosely, surrounded by these standing stones, and these standing stones are significant looking stones, built with intention. I always say there's nothing random about these megaliths built by our ancient ancestors. Everything's very deliberate with a specific purpose, function and placement. The alignment of the stones, the direction they're facing, the type of stone, where they're placed, that spatial intelligence. And I just love it just feels like you're entering not only a sacred space, but passing some sort of threshold as you pass the standing stones and then make your way to the cairn itself, coming from the outside into the inside, and these beautiful stones. So again, we'll have a wee circle round this cairn. We'll walk into the cairn itself, and I want to just have a look at each of the standing stones in more detail as well. So let's walk round this cairn. One thing I tend to do when I go to stone circles is I walk round them clockwise for some reason. It just feels more natural. This stone's really interesting. It's kind of split in two, or it's like that, and there's a couple of wee dimples in that stone there. Or standing stones, one across the road here. So we'll now enter the southwest cairn. Again, this one is significant in size. You can see someone coming out there, the passageway leading to chamber, and surrounded by these stones. One behind me there, one across the road. Adds to effect. It's interesting seeing the modern with the ancient. These people working with nature, and you can fill in the rest there. So let's go in and have a look at this southwest cairn.
Inside the chamber of the southwest cairn here, there's red sandstone, white mica and quartz, which kind of create a mineral alchemy. The sun would have touched the back wall with its final light, illuminating the darkness just before the long night of winter. Did this symbolize death, renewal, possibly a gateway to the other world?
You can see some of the stones have got a wee bit of rock art going on. Cup and ring marks. So this one here has clearly some depressions in the stone. 1, 2, it's very smooth. 3, 4, 5, there's 6 there.
The meaning of these cup and ring marks is unknown, but theories include cosmic or astronomical markers, territorial or spiritual symbols, maps, constellations or portals, or even markers of sacred space or initiation. Like the northeast cairn, it was originally roofed with large lintel stones, now gone. Visitors would have had to crouch down to enter, moving from light to darkness, possibly a metaphor for initiation, death, or a womb-like return to earth. Clava Cairns is an incredible example of megalithic solar alignment. At midwinter sunset, rays of the dying sun penetrate directly into the chamber. The symbolism is powerful. The male solar energy, sunlight entering the female womb tomb, suggesting rebirth or communication with ancestors. Some traditions interpret this as an energetic crossing point where masculine and feminine ley energies, sometimes called dragon currents, intersect. Clava Cairns is a beautiful, sacred and energetic place that was clearly venerated by our ancient ancestors. This was a place of great significance, built with intention, and every stone feels chosen, every line aligned. Sacred spaces, rings, thresholds, it's like moving through a veil. The outer circles of standing stones act like a kind of energetic perimeter. Each of the standing stones have their own presence, different sizes. And I don't think these sizes are random, they're graded. Tallest to the southwest, smallest to the northeast. Perhaps reflecting the sun's arc or the soul's journey from life to death and beyond. These are energetic spaces, no doubt about it. And one thing I felt here is there's a kind of stillness and quietness, which I absolutely loved.
I just spotted the cup and ring marks on this stone. Beauties. Look at that. Mystery left by our ancient ancestors. Amazing. Clava Cairns, an amazing spot. Incredible. Thought to be up to 4,000 years old. With 3 of these sizable looking structures. And you've got that one's got a passageway leading to a central chamber, and it's surrounded by these standing stones, well, almost like a stone circle surrounding it. You've then got the central cairn. That one doesn't have any obvious, or there's no passageway leading to that chamber, which is interesting. Again, sort of circular in shape, the central chamber. Then you've got a wee Korab cairn just off from that central large cairn with no passageway. That wee Korab cairn's thought to have been added later. That's got a wee bit of kind of prototype megalith vibes to it for me. And again, the central cairn is surrounded by these standing stones, like a stone circle. And then the final large cairn has the passageway leading into this central circular chamber, and there's rock art in some of those stones. It's really, really interesting. This is a beautiful place, and again surrounded by these amazing oak trees. I could have a wee seat here for a while. It's a busy spot, so if you're coming, your best bet is to, I'd imagine, come first thing in the morning, because there's loads of tourists here. Really, really nice. Sacred land here. And yeah, that big feeling really is that the 2 energetic spaces that you're entering into. So you have the stone circle, the standing stones surrounding the 3 main cairns, and then that circular cairn shape. For me, stone circles represent like they're almost cauldron-like in energy, that whirling, swirling energy within that space. So this is, these stones for me are almost like holding that energy within this sacred energetic space. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? And then you've got the cairn itself with this chamber, this, not a dolmen like chamber, but dolmens for me are, whereas stone circles, it's kind of free flowing movement or energy within that space, like that cauldron. Dolmens, chambers within dolmens are containers, they're holding that energy within that sacred space. So that's my kind of feeling, thoughts. The stone circle is holding energy within the secular space, it's manipulating it, containing it, perhaps moving it towards the next space. So as we enter the passageway and then into the chambers of the two cairns that have chambers with the passageways. That's my feeling. And it's thought to date to 4,000 years old, up to 4,500, so 4,000 years. Take that with a wee bit of pinch of salt. That's based on artifacts that has been found here. And there's been human remains found here. I think they're quite limited. Cremated as well. So, you know, you don't actually know when these human remains, when they were actually cremated, placed here. Was it when the site itself was built, or was it long after? It's a beautiful place. And it's aligned to the midwinter solstice, which symbolises death, rebirth, and, you know, a return to the light. So thank you so much for watching. Please give us a wee like, comment and subscribe to Reppin Nature. Alright? Nice one. Cheers.